hacer el tren de paso en vez de la banda chocaba con la puta con Madrid, 51 niños todos en profundidad. Vamos a la meta con él, 8 metros adelante, 1-0. Poco después llegaría el empate con Magistral, tiro libre por Neymar. Y después Luis Enrique o Aladino, si no prefieren. Invoca la presencia de Leo Messi. Como de costumbre, se pone a la capa de héroe y encaminaba.
Liverpool.
Okay, so we had a couple of other songs earlier, nothing now. You notice we're pretty busy on the golf course. So how we could be able to treat you out tonight. So that's one. Step forward a little bit, show you how this is movement down from the
Oh, wow.
Thank you, dear.
I got it.
He's tapping. Are you leaving?
Even if you leave it on the table over here, I don't mind. I just didn't know where it was because it was
No,
like.
yeah, no, it's all good. Sorry.
No, no big deal.
Yes, I am. I am.
So hot that you can't shave
Your
because.
boy's one, right? Came back.
Yeah, it's a little ugly.
Especially if you walk there, yeah.
It's just crazy how young the team is now.
It's this.
We have
This one is not this one.
our running back, I think our best running back emerged today.
All right, cool. Let's get that.
Yeah, you could have found one of the goals. Try to put that, just that, this crazy goal that I want.
Did they kill it?
We can't do it. No, not yet. But if we have to, we have to.
Okay, cool. All right. I'll leave him 10 seconds. Give me 10 seconds. 10 seconds. Well, 10 seconds.
You got enough B-roll already.
And this other kid, man, still a wide receiver, another true freshman.
Cheapest probably because this part of this card will be with it for the Met Pacquiao fight. $50 million? Yes.
130.
Killed up both of them. That's all. Okay. Okay, cool.
Let's do this. All right, you can look at me. You don't look at the camera. Look at me.
Okay.
All right. So, first, can you just say your name and what you do? Where do you work?
Pedro Castro Maré, sports weekend anchor for Telemundo 51, based in Miami.
How long have you been here?
I've been a little bit like a year, 1 year.
And this is your first TV Spanish gig, right?
Here in this country, this would be like as an anchor is the second TV assignment. I used to work as an assistant producer for Bein Sports. It's a TV station basically related to sports, but especially Spanish and Italian soccer.
Right, and now that you're here and on camera, and what's it like being a Spanish TV on camera person as opposed to being in English? You'd say.
I would say that the main difference is that in the Spanish television in this country, you have to be concerned about your audience. There are so many different nationalities, Spanish nationalities in this country. For example, in South Florida, you have mostly Cuban, Venezuelan, and Colombian people. But if you go a little bit north, you will find a lot of Puerto Rican. And pretty much the rest of the country, especially west, you will find a lot of Mexicans. So you have to be concerned and you have to work based on your audience. And at the same time, I will say that it's important that Spanish television, I will say, I shouldn't say this, but doesn't work necessarily with the same highest standards of ethical journalism than English television. I say this because as a Latin, we tend to offer our opinion, and that's not what journalism is about. Journalism is about facts, but sometimes we Latin people, no matter what, we try to offer our opinions.
Let's see, I have to check the glasses. Okay. All right. You can take your, no, keep glasses on. So would you say, is it harder to be in Spanish versus English? You think, or?
Well, I will say that as long as you respect the main teachings of journalism, of how to do good journalism, respecting the what, where, when, how, and especially you have to respect yourself as a journalist, you have to respect your audience. If we are going to speak about sports, I will say that nobody is bigger than the game, nobody is bigger than the sports. I say this, that you don't have to make a statement. For example, Alex Rodriguez hit a homer, and after the game you ask, it was a great game, it was a great homer. Where is the question? You have to really asking questions in order to build a good story. And that's why I consider the why, how, what is the main of journalism, and not only in general journalism, but also in Spanish-speaking journalism stations.
So if your English was just as good as your Spanish, do you think you would prefer to be in Spanish?
In English, you mean?
Like if you spoke both languages just as well, which one would you still prefer to be in Spanish though, right?
Probably I will try in English because there are much more a wider kind of opportunities in English. There are not so many Spanish stations, big Spanish stations like American stations. And there will be much more chances, especially in my case, my main sport, not only my favorite sport, but I will say that the sport that I have worked most as a journalist is baseball. And for the Hispanic audience in this country, that for sure is not the most important sport. The most important sport for the Hispanic population in this country is soccer. So I would try to get into the English television just because of that. As a Venezuelan, we are much more related to American sports like baseball and basketball. And I will try definitely to get into an American TV station or radio station as well.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and then the last question. Do you think the difference between Spanish and the English stations are fair? Like, do you ever get mad maybe that the English stations have more money than the Spanish stations or anything like that? Do you feel like they're unfair or no?
Well, it depends. There are big TV chains in this country like NBC, ABC, CBS, CNN, but at the same time there are two big TV stations like Telemundo and Univision in this country. It's hard to say, but I read time ago that Univision is one of the largest TV stations in this country. So I wouldn't be totally sure about how's the difference in economic terms between English and Spanish television.
But you never at like a game, and the English stations never get more access than the Spanish stations, right? No, that never happens, right?
Well, based in sports, I would say that, of course, the English station will have more access, because at the end of the day, there are more American speakers, athletes. And of course, is LeBron James, Tiger Woods, any guy that you mentioned, Bryce Harper, is going to speak with an American TV station. They can eventually speak to the Spanish station. Always is going to be in English, the interview, of course. Most of these guys don't speak Spanish. They don't need to speak Spanish. So I would say that it's fair. There are in their country and they speak their language, and the Spanish have to adapt to the American journalism standards, I would say.
Okay, beautiful. All right. I just want to get some B-roll of you. Okay, yeah, you can walk.
En la acera de enfrente, el Barça con Messi en la banca, chocaba con el Atlético de Madrid. Al 51 el niño Torres recibió en profundidad y la depositaba en el fondo de la red. A poner a los colchoneros adelante 1-0. Poco después llegaría el empate con magistral tiro libre cometido por Neymar. Y después Luis Enrique, o Aladino, si lo prefieren, invocaba la presencia de Leo Messi, quien, como de costumbre, se ponía la capa de héroe y encaminaba la victoria del Barça 2-1.
Are you doing the whole,
Who's the- who
like
would be the
filming the
next
whole
guy,
line or
right?
something?
No, I'll
Say
take,
the-
I'll take it
say
out.
Ronda
Okay,
Rousey.
it's just giveaway.
Yeah, I'm gonna take it out.
That would be.
She's allowed-
allowed the MMA fight, he can only box.
I love this, how she's like doesn't care and she's just like in the media just like talking crap about Mayweather. It's like good. But she does have a little. She's talking about how she makes more money than Mayweather, but because per second how long she's been in the ring versus him.
2 minutes.